is an illusion now. It used to be an empire. It's an illusion now. What happened in Egypt, right up until the flood, is happening in America, and the flood is coming next.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The Lord's Passover. And General YAHANNA is covering the bill. I.S.U.P.K is calling for all Israel, Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians to join us March 24th at the 2020 Grand Ballroom. Address 2020 86th Street, Brooklyn, New York, for the Lord's Passover, which is commanded by the Most High to keep. General YAHANNA got it covered. He got the lamb, he got the unleavened bread, and the wine. Guess what, Israel? It's all free. It's all free. It's all free. So it's no excuses. Join us March 24th at 2020 Grand Ballroom, 2020 86th Street, Brooklyn, New York. Stand up, Israel. Shalom.
It's even the different historical people. Like, once again, everybody is pushed to remember Martin Luther King. But even brothers that are not in the truth, there are some great men. When I say great, not as great as the men in the Bible, but way more great than Martin Luther King that you can think about in American history, y'all. Nat Turner, for one. Now, Nat Turner is good, but let me give you a better one. Somebody look up the Lowry gang. North Carolina, the Lowry Wars. This cat, if you want to glorify somebody who is not in the truth, you should glorify him. This cat here was a lot better than what was his Martin Luther King real name?
Michael King.
Michael King, a famous white woman chaser, a turncoat, a traitor, and a goddamn communist, who now everybody got to glorify and look up to because the things that he said helps your slave mind. It makes you more of a slave. Somebody look up Lowry.
In December 1864, neighbor James P. Barnes and accused Adam Lowry.
This is where we're going. This is the beginning of this brother. This brother had a story that was amazing. It should have been a movie. And the only reason it was not a movie is because this brother did all these things we about to read and got away with it. He did not get killed. They did not catch him. He got away with this. And this is how it started. Keep going.
Of stealing hogs and sheltering Union soldiers. Upon hearing this accusation against his father, Henry shot Barnes dead.
So now somebody tried to say his father stole hogs and sheltered a Union soldier. He was in the Carolinas, which had sided with the South, right? So now when the cat accused his father of stealing that hog, he killed him. Keep going.
At about this time, he organized a gang that included his brothers, Stephen and Thomas, two cousins, Calvin and Henderson Oxidine, two of his brothers-in-law, two unknown black men, one unknown white man, and two others of unknown association.
Keep going.
In January of 1865, an incident involving a conscription officer resulted in the death of the officer, James Bradley Harris, at the hands of Henry. Harris was accused of mistreating the Lowery woman. In March of 1865, the Home Guard searched Alan Lowry's home, finding firearms. So now they went and searched I believe this is his father. They searched his father's home, right? Because of a warrant looking for him. They found guns in his father's home. Keep going. Finding firearms which were forbidden to non-whites.
Read that again.
Finding firearms which were forbidden to non-whites.
They don't talk about that in history. It was illegal for black people to have guns. Blacks, Gadites, to have guns at that time.
I guess that's why that cracker was like a couple weeks ago. It would have been a different story if black people
that's why he said it, because it was the truth. You understand that? And if you understand why white people are so mad, it's because of this. Like, they know what it means when you say you can't have any gun. That is the government taking away your tool of resistance if you're carnal. If you're carnal, your tool of resistance is a gun. And that's what they did to non-whites. They was not allowed to have guns. They found whites were allowed to have guns, but non-whites were not allowed to have guns. They found guns in this cat's crib. Go ahead.
And Salaki, and that's why they'll fight tooth and nail, because niggas don't have.
They don't care what the law. Be you. They do not want to end up like you. They don't. They willing to die. Keep going. I gotta move for time's sake. Keep going.
Such as the Lowry family. A kangaroo court was quickly held, and Alan Lowry and his son William were found guilty of possessing firearms and were executed.
They were killed right there on the spot. A lynch party. Kangaroo court. They went out and had court. Is he guilty? Yes. Killed him right there. Keep going.
Henry watched this act from the bushes.
Now Henry, the leader of the Lowry gang, was watching it when they killed his father and his brother. After this brother, he went berserk. He killed the head of the Ku Klux Klan in North Carolina. He would break into rich plantation owners, rob them, and before he left, forced the slave owner to serve him dinner at the table. It's all in history. The Judites that was in his gang came from that. The Judite would.
So cunning was Lowry that he would often mysteriously appear at the dinner table of a plantation owner and demand to be fed before robbing his reluctant host.
But this cat here this is a true story. And this cat was considered like a Robin Hood. He would go around, help all the blacks and Gadites, help them, give them the money that he stole.
Lowry is only 17 years old. Like many of the young Lumbee men, he avoids the labor camps by hiding in the swamps. From here, Lowry will lead a guerrilla war against the Confederates and become the Robin Hood of the Lumbee people.
During that time, Henry and his gang were robbing wealthy landowners. There was no food during that time. They would rob their meat houses, and they would come back to what they called the settlement, which was the Indian community, and disperse what food and grain that they could get to people that were starving to death.
Henry's band includes his brothers and cousins, ex-Union soldiers, and some ex-slaves.
With the deaths of his father and brother, Henry vowed revenge. He and his gang began a series of robberies and murders that seemed to have been politically motivated. It became known as the Lowry War. They shot local sheriff and stole his safe.
Now this part is so good. They shot the locals. Now let me give you a little. This definition ain't giving you all the details of it, right? That General YAHANNA has found out throughout the years, right? They of course went to go get a reward for his arrest. He killed a marshal, right?
Before he can strike, King is gunned down by George Applewhite, a Lowry gang member who had been lurking in the shadows.
Once he had killed the sheriff of Robeson County, there was no turning back.
Broke into the marshal's crib, forced the marshal to serve him dinner, right? Killed the marshal. After that, because this cat was a marshal, he got berserk, right?
The Lowry gang's reputation spreads throughout the country. Newspapers from as far away as New York carry the story.
A state of terror exists among the women and children in Robeson County.
They sent down the equivalent today of what would have been $500,000. I think it was $12,000 or something like that, for a reward to catch him, right? They sent it to the sheriff. It was the reward money. So everybody started gearing up to find him to get the reward money.
By 1871, a bounty taken out on Lowry is reportedly up to $20,000, equivalent to nearly $500,000 today.
He stole the reward, which is this what you read about right now. This is the reward money, which is why the sheriff had so much damn money in this safe, because that money was to catch him. He broke in and stole the damn reward. Like, this cat needs to be talked about. If you want to talk about Martin Luther King, who had sex with white girls, cried and sung and did stupid speeches that he stole from other men, why wouldn't you at least, this cat wasn't in the truth. He ain't do anything that could have ever freed blacks or Gadites. But he is at least more memorable than Mark, or whatever his name is, Malcolm, whatever his name is, King. Keep going.
Come. They shot the local sheriff and stole his safe. In addition, they stole a large collection of firearms from the Lowery courthouse that were intended to have issued to the local militia.
You understand? These guns was to catch him. Like, these guns was so that the militia could get these guns to catch him. He take the safe and the damn guns. Keep going.
Come. They robbed from the elite, stole provisions from their smokehouses and storage bins. These items were frequently given unto the poor non-whites of the area.
Poor who?
The poor non-whites of the area.
He's a civil rights leader, man. What's wrong with him? You don't give him no day and nothing. You ain't gonna put him on the wall next to white Jesus and nothing, huh? He gave to the non-whites and had a gang with Gad and Judah getting it on in that gang, man. Go ahead.
Come. The Civil War ended in 1865, but the Lowry War continued. Woo. On December 7, 1865, Henry Lowry married Rhonda Strong and was arrested at his own wedding. He filed the bars of his jail cell and escaped.
Yes, they got him at his wedding. He went, filed the bars, broke out of the jail at his wedding. Go ahead, brother.
And escaped to return to his outlaw lifestyle. His gang continued robbing and killing through the Reconstruction era. In 1869, Republican Governor William Woods Holden offered a $12,000 reward.
That's the $12,000. That's $500,000 today. $12,000 back in the 1800s. Let me skip you down for time so you can go read all this. Let me give you the biggest one. So the war, the Lowry War went on, it went nuts, right? So then finally the sheriff said, I got it. He went and arrested all the wives of the people in the gang for harboring fugitives.
By 1871, after dozens of Lumbees, whites, and blacks have perished, local authorities form a county militia to combat the Lowry gang. The leader is a former Confederate military commander, Colonel James Wishart. Wishart decides to take extreme measures to capture Lowry. He arrests the wives of the Lowry gang members, including Henry's wife, Rhoda.
For harboring fugitives. They arrested the wives. Henry Lowry sent a letter to the sheriff saying, if you don't let our wives go, it's going to be the bloodiest day you've ever seen in your life.
Henry Berry wrote a letter and had it delivered and said that you arrested our wives for no reason. They're not guilty of anything. And if you don't let them go, it will be the bloodiest day that the county has ever seen.
Right? The sheriff got the letter. So now, of course, he starts arming up, getting the militia together. They start getting ready for the Lowry gang to attack the prison where they're holding the wives. Then he gets another letter from one of his people and says, all of our wives have been kidnapped.
Uh-oh, he took their wives.
They kidnapped all of their wives. That's what this cat did. Sent them the letter to make them think they was going to try to break out the Lowry gang's wives. While they was gearing up, everybody came down to the prison to guard the Lowry gang's wives. While they was at the prison, he broke into their house and kidnapped the sheriff's wives. Then they did a wife swap. And he got his wife back.
Damn right.
That brother need to be talked about if we're going to talk about some stinking dream. Some nigga had this guy was a real cat.
The $20,000 bounty on the Lowry gang in 1869 was twice as much as the bounty on Jesse James.
That brother need to be talked about if we're going to talk about some stinking dream. Some nigga had this guy was a real cat. He did this. finally the war got up. Once again, the scriptures say, no man shall free thee. No man shall buy thee or buy thy freedom. All the members of his gang get killed and wiped the hell out. But he gets away. There's reports he commits suicide. Reports he got shot. But his wife, every summer, would go off and go, I believe, south. Every summer she would leave and go south. Everybody starts saying he's not dead. Right. They never found the body, but see his wife going south every summer, coming back every summer. And that's the story. You can go check it out. Now give me the
yes, them have the heart of a pagan. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil and move with Satan. Righteous trod in the countenance of the Almighty One. Them have the heart of demons. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil and move with Satan. Righteous walk in the countenance of the Almighty One. Poor people see hostility rising daily. Ignorant multiply brutality. I see that they run gone left mommy. Fi struggle the hard road with 5 beginning. Our I see baby having baby. Nothing that happen no do.